Hello friends, Samuel Graham doing TCGs yet again. So welcome to Rathe, even the Unlimited. All good things begin to come to an end, don't they? So the opportunity came up to crack another case of Welcome to Rathe Unlimited. And I figured, well, I've still, in either version of WTR, I've not pulled a Fabled. There's all kinds of good stuff I could still pull. So I still need a whole lot of stuff too. So let's see what we can get, including a Fabled. That would go nicely in some of my decks. So let's rock this thing. We're gonna do the entire case this time around. I know sometimes I change that up a little bit depending on what's going on, whether I'll do the entire case or 2 boxes at a time. I'm just gonna go for the whole thing. Let's do it. I'm excited about it. We're gonna rip all this plastic off and then start rip this plastic off and then start ripping different plastic, because this is pre-paper pack. That's gonna be tricky too. I'm still, every time I shift back to the normal style packs instead of the paper packs that have been in the last couple sets, it throws me off just a little bit for a while. But hey-oh, we're gonna give it a whirl anyway. See what we can get done. But here we are. Quite possibly, maybe not, I could get lucky and find some more, but quite possibly my last case of Welcome to Rathe. That's a little sad. Sad to think about, but it's possible. Ooh, double Dorinthia on top. My favorite. Feels like a good chance of seeing some excellence. But yeah, let's get into this thing. I'm going to try and keep track too of, hold on to a bunch of equipment and stuff like that. Warrior's Valor, Staunch Response, and a favorite of mine for the first foil, Iron Song Response. I'm going to try and keep a decent chunk of commons and uncommons, because I know I've thrown it out there before, but for people who haven't heard it before, I will try to... Oh, some of the tape's still stuck to me. How about that? I make available some options for, cheap decks. I make a lot of cheap decks. I keep some bulk. Just kind of a, hey, if you feel like just spending some... Ooh, Spinal Crush. That's a weird order. The Majestics usually last, but okay. Spinal Crush, our first rare foil, is Blackout Kick and a Reinhardt back there. So that's why I'm keeping my equipment separate, and a bunch of interesting, especially generics, but a bunch of interesting staples as well. But first Majestic, we have ourselves Spinal Crush. I feel like I'm going super slow so far. Let's stick that in there. See, I'll have to get on me to unmovable. That I'm sticking stuff in the wrong stacks over here. Y'all don't care about that, so I'm gonna quit. Pummel. Sigil of Solace. That's actually a pretty good rare right there. Overpower. Leg tap. Red Iron Song Response. It's one of those tricky cards because, well, it's tricky because you can end up not being able to ever play it. Red Unmovable. Because your opponent has to have, ooh, Majestic number 2, Lord of Wind. 2 Majestics already. We haven't even seen our first super rare yet. But yeah, Iron Song response can be tricky. Ooh, Snatch and Energy Potion. That's a good double rare pack. Your opponent has to block from hand, so if they know that you're sitting there with for it to do anything. Every now and then I've had one stuck in Arsenal for a while. I just had to throw it away. Blue Sync. Actually, that's a pretty good little stack right there. Not bad at all. Breakneck Battery, Warrior's Valor, and Yellow Overpower for our foil. I'm like, okay, this isn't going to add anything, but I'm throwing it out there just to clear my Arsenal slot because I need something else there. That's always a little bit of a frustrating moment. There's our first super rare of the day. Last Ditch Effort, followed by a foil head jab. I don't always know why I still sleeve supers. They're not notably spicier than rares really at this point, but Steelblade Shunt, another card I'm a big fan of. Rising Knee Thrust, Sharpened Steel. That's sort of one of my pet warrior cards that I have started pulling out of my decks now. I like it, but since it's not a reaction, it just kind of telegraphs what you're doing a little bit. So a lot of people don't like to use it. Staunch Response, Warrior's Valor. Fluster Fist is our foil. There's my gal. As I throw her away. Young Adult. Very nice. So yeah, for box number 1, we're not halfway through yet, but we've already messed that card up a little. That's frustrating. A red Sink Below got dinged up there. That's unfortunate. Red Pummel to make up for it a little bit. Barraging Beatdown, Breakneck Battery. And there is our first kind of fancier foil. Showtime. A super rare foil. I'm a little bit bummed about that red Sink being warped the way it was. It's not the best. Overpowered, Disable, and Stonewall. Dawnblade to go with Dorinthia that popped up a second ago. So yeah, I like to build a lot of the decks, and I was starting to try and build a Dorinthia the other day to have in my stock of decks I can just send people. Ooh, Majestic number 3, Tome of Findall. That's a little abnormal, but we will gladly take that. And I just didn't have enough stuff to build a Dorinthia anymore. It was kind of funny. I'd built and sent out enough of them that I couldn't do another one. Staunch Response and Beatdown, very nice. And that was the double Katsu. But as I throw away that token there, unmovable. Another Snatch and a rainbow foil iron rot plate. That can go in that stack, I suppose. Not the foil equipment we were hoping for there. But it's still only the first box. Plenty of pack ripping to do. But yeah, how's everybody feeling about... Funny enough, there's a red Sink, not a bent up one. How's everybody feeling about the fact that this set's kind of running out? Arcane Rising did it early. Went a little bit faster of the supply kind of drying up and it getting more expensive. How are we feeling? Wow, okay. A 4th Majestic. And This box is kind of wild. Only 2 super rares so far, but that is our 4th Majestic. That is not the correct stack for that to go in. That's wild. I'll be curious to see how A, how this box, and B, how the rest of this case lines up with that bizarreness that has come up already. And we'll stick that there just for grins. Red Staunch, not bad at all. Nature's Path. This is wild. This is wild. There is super rare number 2. And another one that I am quite fond of for Dorinthia, Singing Steelblade. Just a very, very good, versatile attack reaction for her. If your opponent has, it's a +1, which +1 for 1, which that part's not great. But if your opponent has blocked with a card from hand, ooh, Warrior's Valor red in foil, love that. If your opponent has blocked with a card from hand, you get to go find another attack reaction, banish it, and you can play it that turn, this turn if you want, which is pretty nice. Flick, Flack, and Blessing of Deliverance. There's another Dawnblade. We'll be able to build some warrior decks now. We like that. That is fantastic news. Pummel. Ironsong Determination. There is super rare number 3. Another one. Some people are kind of down on it, but I am a fan. So that's really bizarre. 4 Majestics and 3 super rares so far. Usually, if anything, it's the other way around. Ha! Red Flick Flack back to back, 1 foil, 1 none. And Snappies. That is super bizarre. So it kind of feels like the super rares and the Majestics for that box, the count got flipped somehow. We got double Dorinthia right up on top of this box number 2. Let's see if it brings us the same intriguing shenanigans that showed up for box 1. Another E-Pot. Happy to see that. Yeah, it is kind of wild. I remember buying Welcome to Rathe Alpha when it was still, you know, 80 odd a box. Alpha Rampage. When it was still 80 odd dollars a box, and that's how I first started getting into the game. So it's kind of weird to think about the set not really being particularly available anymore. Just a very, very interesting evolution of the game. I mean, that's how they go. Eventually, stuff may or may not be available anymore. It's just kind of bizarre to think about. This one, there's another red Sync. Bizarre to think about this set disappearing. Just something else. Oof, there's a good Dorinthia card. Steelblade Supremacy, another one of her specializations. And that is our Majestic number 2 for that box. I don't know. This box is coming a little bit slower. Maybe this one won't be quite as spectacular as the other one. Barraging Beatdown for rare foil. Always like seeing the rare foils. I did notice too, this is the Japanese print, not the Belgium print. There's not huge differences there, but just some quality differences. There's Mugenshi Release for super rare number 1. And my focusing is not. So let's see what might be giving it frustration. Burp. We'll just roll with it. Another steel blade shot. See, it's definitely, it's working on it. It's working on it. It's being a little temperamental, but we can live with that. Red Overpower and blue Disable. There's a red Wounded Bull. That's actually pretty nice. And our gal Thea. Thea. I catch myself saying Dory sometimes. I don't like it. Her name is Dorinthia, and every bit another red sync. Everything, all the fiction. Ooh, red Snatch in foil. Love that. Everything says Thea whenever it shortens her name. I'm trying to be precise about it. Gotta show my gal the proper respect. There's Pummel, yellow sync, red Scar, Goliath Gauntlet. There's super rare number 2, Pounding Gale. Blue sync. Breaking Scales. Overpower, Disable, and Debilitate is our foil for a foil common. As I mangle that booster pack pretty nicely. Let's see about shifting some of this a little bit. Strapping. Blue Shunt, like the blue one a lot. Nature's Path Pilgrimage, and there's our buddy Katsu. Yeah, when the whole thing came up about, I want to open at least one more knowing it could be the last. There's Remembrance. That's a potent card that has been getting some. Hey-oh! All right, so Remembrance got my attention, and right behind that we have a Feindel's Spring Tunic in pretty pristine condition. One of the iconic cards of this game in its rainbow foil unlimited version. Heck yes, that right there. It needs a better spot. It's gonna, alright, these stacks are gonna scooch over here because that needs a spot of honor. Ooh, boy. Yeah, there we go. That's what we're hunting. Actually, I don't know why I say that. The real thing I need is a Heart of Findel. I actually have the tunic already, but I won't ever say no to pulling one. In box number 2, we've gotten a Findel Spring Tunic Unlimited. Love to see it. Another E-Pot. Buckling Blow. Almost tried to put that in the old spot. Those foils have a new spot. They are not as cool as Dorinthia, so they do not get Dorinthia. The Spring Tunic. They're not as cool as Dorinthia either, but that's not who I was talking about. Blackout Kick. Ancestral Empowerment for yet another. That is Majestic number 3. We've got 3 Majestics and 3 Super Rares this box at this point. This case is wild so far, y'all. I am a fan. Katsu. Played a tournament today and did not have the greatest days. Playing Blitz right now. Managed to Time Snap Potion. Managed to take down Prism round 1, but then lost to Ira, which I think I need to play against Ira more. I hadn't played against her particular play style very much, if ever. I'm not really sure I'd played with her in a true game. So it was a sort of unpleasant surprise. Forge for War, super rare number 4. So I had some issues there. Didn't know quite how to handle her, and that definitely blew up in my face. And then last round, things that always give me a hard time. Say it with me, Wizards. Just ran into an Icelander and a player that I've played against multiple times. It's always a fun game, but didn't go well. He took me out. It was a close-ish game, but there was kind of a point I knew it was over. Red Steel Blade, Blackout Kick. There's Beatdown. So yeah, not my best, but the rule is the shopkeep only plays if the owner Paul only plays if there is an odd number at kind of in a weekly armory basically. So he jumps in, but his rule is if somebody beats him, they get an extra prize pack. So me and another guy both beat him today, so we got extra prize packs. And the extra prize pack ended up getting me a foil blood on her hands, so that was pretty nice. Was not upset there. And Steelblade Shunt. So we got this is one of those where we can't be mad that we did not get a Majestic or super rare foil this time, because we got the Spring Tunic. We got a legendary. So we cannot be too terribly upset wrapping up box 2 like that. Double Doranthea on top again. Might be some good stuff. We're going to try a different spot to pull our card packs from this time. Steelblade, Flusterfist, and Savage Swing. I did something wild over here. What did I do wrong? I put a foil in the wrong spot. My apologies for the delay there. So that was a slightly more standard configuration for that box. Staunch Warrior's Valor, still a great card. It's the thing about trying to change stuff up. I could not find my packs. Barraging, Breakneck, and Demolition Crew. So nothing fancy yet this box. No super rare, no majestic, nothing of the sort. There's refraction vultures though for Dorinthia. We like that. Hey, there's the gal herself. And the young version. Overpowered there is our first majestic, and it's a pretty good one. Tome of Fyendal. Not a bad start. That's the thing about the first two sets had the super rares before. Hey, another sync. Before they kind of combined all that Savage Feast and Potion of Strength and a Knee Thrust. Before they combined them into the same rarity and made Majestics a little bit less valuable overall, but got rid of super rares entirely. So it's always interesting to see the super rares and even the good ones, stuff like Steelblade Supremacy. Singing Steelblade. Don't necessarily always, just by nature, being, ooh, red unmovable. That's nice. Oh, that can go in the that can go with the super rare foil there. That's a pretty interesting card to hit. Like cards that are just straight up staples that still kind of get disrespected a little bit. It's always interesting. There is super rare number 1, Sand Sketched Plan, followed by a foil Time Snap Potion. That can go in the kind of nifty stack as well. Not quite halfway through this box yet. Barraging Beatdown, Flusterfist, and there's a Leg Tap. And Dawnblade. Always happy to see my warrior stuff. My Dorinthia stuff in particular. Warrior stuff in general, it's fine. But my Dorinthia stuff, that's what we like. There's Red Staunch, that's nice. Disable, Pack Hunt. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm trying to keep some cards separated out. I feel like I'm going much more slowly than usual, and I apologize. I, as ever, try not to take your time for granted. So I'm doing my best not to take your time for granted now, even though it may happen a bit. There's a Heart and Cross Strap that can go in the kind of cool pile. I know I didn't. It can go in the common foils. It's fine. It is technically kind of cool. It should probably go in the kind of cool pile. Considering, you know what, the kind of cool pile needs to be not the super rare foil pile, and it can go there. There, we'll do that. We'll do that. We'll make everybody happy. Savage Feast, Snatch. Ooh. Foil super rare, Mugenshi Release, our second foil super of the case. But we got a foil legendary. We got that Spring Tunic, y'all. Flick Flack, Blackout Kick, and a foil yellow pummel. If it was red, it would be super awesome, but a yellow is still pretty neat. That's the thing. There's still a bunch of foils from this. I'm pretty sure I need. Not a whole lot in the department of non-foil, but foils, there's still plenty. Sigil of Solace, that's a pretty good pickup. So, hey, there's my card again. Iron Song Response. Love that card. It's conditional, I know, but I love it anyway. It is conditionally awesome. Always good. Energy Potion again. Been seeing a whole bunch of Energy Potions. There's Overpowered. This box is actually making up a little bit for the awesomeness of the other ones. We're a little slow on the really good cards here. As a majestic foil decides to make an appearance with Bloodrush Bellow. It knew I was insulting it, so it decided to take matters into its own hand. So the winner so far still, and most likely, the only thing better would be a hard to find out there is a super rare. That is Hurricane Technique for super rare number 3. Would be, yeah, the heart is the only thing that could show up better at this point than Spring Tunic. So it is probably going to be holding on to that top position. Hey, a non-foil. Bloodrush Bellow for majestic number 2 of the box. That can go in the kind of cool stuff. A yellow Razor Reflex. Still excited about that Tunic. Every time you see one of those, it's a good day. Cross Strap, Snatch, Beatdown, and a foil Energy Potion. That absolutely goes in the pretty cool pile. Love to see that. Just about 4 packs left in this next to last box, and then we will sigil and shunt. Go into that last box, wrap up what might be my last case of Welcome to Rathe. That is the wrong side of that. Time Snap, Staunch Response, and a Wrecker Romp. I'd love to see one more super rare. Sigil and Blackout Kick. Snatch in yellow for our foil. Last pack of this box. And then we'll see. Ooh, another red sync. We'll see what we can see. All right, there's another super rare for us, indeed. You know what? I was complaining about this box. I really can't. So there's our 4th regular super rare, 2 Majestics, but we did get a super rare and a majestic foil there. So I really don't have too much room to complain about that. All right. Double Dorinthia on top. Do we see a Hard to Find Out? Will we get one? I've never pulled one. I've never owned one. I would love nothing more than my last box to have one. My last box. Maybe. We don't know that for sure. Snatch, Sigil, and Blackout Kick Red. There's always the possibility that I end up with another opportunity, but just in case, if the box is listening, I would love to open the center and find myself a Hard to Find. Hummel, right? Hope Merchant. That's Flusterfist. There's one of my favorites, Iron Song Determination, for our first premium-ish card of the box. Super rare number 1. Kadaki for 1. I don't like those words at all. Yellow Sink. Overpower, Flick Flack, and a Helm of Eisen's Peak. I don't know. That makes me a little bit nervous about seeing another spicy spicy foil. Warrior's Valor, Steel Blade, Shunt, and Leg Tap. That makes me a little nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. I pulled a Findell Spring Tunic. You know, I'd love to see a glint too. I haven't seen a glint quick. There's another red sink. I'd love to see a glint. Warrior's Valor, blue Staunch, blue Pummel in foil. That's another pretty good pack right there. As I am fumbling wrappers, y'all. You gotta stay on me. Red Pummel. Yeah, there's another Spinal Crush. Majestic #1 is another copy of Spinal Crush. Breakneck Battery, and our foil is Yellow Staunch. So I appreciate your patience hanging out with me through this video. A little bit longer than usual. Both out of practice and... Oh, snap! All right, I was wrong. It is not my Heart of Findell, but we got a second legendary this box. That is Scabskin Leathers, the Brute legendary leg piece. So it gets to hang out right there with the tunic. That is not bad at all, people. That is not bad at all. Cannot complain even slightly. There's another time snap. There is Lord of Wind for our second Majestic of this box. And open the center. Ooh, this case is a winner. Especially considering all the, energy potions, red snatch, like all that kind of stuff that is in the lower rarities, but is starting to get sought after as the stuff disappears. It's pretty neat. But two legendaries is hard to beat. Breakneck Battery, yellow Warrior's Valor, and a blue Sigil. And then there's the blue Iron Song response. Love to see that too. I don't do the yellow one. I use blue and I use red. Red because it gives the +3 if your opponent has attacked for cost 0. The blue because it's a blue. Hey, there's another red sink. We've definitely racked up our share of those. Last ditch effort for our super rare. Regurgitating Slug and Rhinar in the back. Alright, we're in the back half of this last box of maybe my last case of WTR. Let's see what we can find. Bark Bone Strapping, Flick Flack, and Yellow Shunt. Tough to argue. Especially Welcome to Rathe. It was much, much less common to see something like a double legendary case than it is now. And I stuck those two cards over there. I apologize. Overpower, Disable, and Confidence. Yeah, it is much, much, much less common to see two legendaries in WTR than it is in like current sets. So that is kind of wild. Blackout Kick, Snatch, and Barkbone Strapping. Another foil equipment. So that's the third foil equipment this box, one of which was a legendary. That's wild. And it's another brute one to go right along with the leathers. Steel Blade Shunt, Pounding Gale for another super rare. That is super rare number 3. And there's our gal. Love to see her. Not bad there. Breaking Scales, Overpowered, Disabled, and super rare Rainbow Foil Cranial Crush. Not bad at all. It's one of those, now that we've seen all the good stuff, it's kind of like, ho-hum, walking through, like, you know, you're probably not seeing anything else at this point. But at the same time, you gotta just be tickled to get what you got. Barraging Beatdown, Yellow Staunch, and Wrecker Rump. There's Dawnblade. Red Razor, very nice. Hope Merchant's Hood, Blackout, Red Snatch, and Blue Snatch for our foil. This case brought it. 2 red Nimble Strikes. I don't know if I've actually seen that happen, if I'm being completely honest. With especially in Welcome to Rathe. That's kind of wild. Ooh, and a red foil pummel. No argument to there. Got 4 packs left. A red foil pummel is always a pleasant sight too. Bolters, Warrior's Valor and Sigil, Nimble Strike, and there's our Dawnblade. I could show you the other side of the token, but I also know you don't really care, so it's fine. This one's Romping Club. Goliath Gauntlet, Flick Flack, followed by a Crippling Crush. Majestic number 3. And Blessing of Deliverance for rare foil right behind that. Wild. But definitely over budget on Majestics. Just kinda wild. Cross Strap, Staunch Response Red, Fluster Fist, and ooh yeah, red foil Sync. For a common foil, it doesn't get much better. Last pack. Raging Onslaught, Blue Pummel, Red Unmovable, Yellow Demolition Crew. That was a pretty impressive common slots. All right, and another super rare number 4 to line up with our 3 Majestics. And it's Singing Steel Blade to boot. Barraging Beatdown, Yellow Scar, and then our last little run of class commons in the back, with Katsu and Bravo closing it out. Well, y'all, this was kind of something else. The super rares and Majestics came pretty plentifully. We got Singing Steel Blade. We got a couple of those. We got Steel Blade Supremacy. Maybe we only got one Singing. Oh, no, there's the other one. But look at that. Singing Steel Blades. We got Supremacy, Crippling Crush, Pounding Gale. Like, we got a nice run. A couple of Tomes, a Remembrance, I think a couple of Determinations. Like, that was a good run of Majestics and super rares. Plus our foils, we ended up with 3 foil super rares, even though one box didn't have one, and a majestic foil for Blood Rush Bellow. We got a pretty neat pile of, you know, foils or just kind of fun stuff, like foil E-pots, pummels, sink belows, equipment, that whole deal, unmovable. But tough to argue that these here were not the top hits. A pair of legendary rainbow foils, one of them being the iconic Flesh and Blood piece of equipment, Findal Spring Tunic. The other one being a pretty cool iconic class piece of equipment, the Scab Skin Leathers. That is a pretty, I mean, short of pulling the Fabled, that could not really have gone any better, I don't think. This is one of the best boxes of, you know, of Welcome to Rathe I've seen. I can't argue with this at all. This is pretty fabulous. Love seeing it. Y'all, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed, well, you know, everybody's got their games that they do or don't like. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope, you know, Flesh and Blood brings you some joy. If it doesn't, thank you for watching anyway. If you're still here listening to me now, that means a lot that means more to me than you can possibly know, that you're supporting me, even if you don't particularly love this particular game like I do. It's one of my top 2 for sure, that I truly enjoy. But yeah, seeing Welcome to Rathe, the supply of that about to dry up, probably not available for reorder anymore. It's kind of something else. Even the unlimited version, seeing it starting to disappear. That's a huge thing from where Flesh and Blood began, when the alpha boxes were still $85. That whole deal. It's pretty wild. I hope you've had a good time with the game so far, with this set. Let me know, like I said, how you're feeling about Welcome to Rathe starting to dry up. But anyway, as always, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. If you like what I'm doing, if you don't, that's fine too. Yeah, you know, I'm not for everybody. Not everything is for everybody, but that's all right. I appreciate you just for being here, even if you're hearing this. I try not to take your time for granted. I've already taken a bit longer than I usually do, so I apologize for that, but I appreciate your indulgence. I feel like this was a pretty awesome case to do that with. In any case, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.